Turn it up, it's time to get poppin'. Just a Spice Daddy Holcombe, no stopping. Diving into Christian pop with flair. Movies, books, and faith beyond compare. From the big screen to the pages we read, he's got a spice to fill your every need. With a like and grin, he brings the heat. Pepper Poppers, yo, it's the ultimate beat. Pepper Popper, spice it up, let's go. Justin's breaking down a Christian show. Movies, books, and faith, he's got the vibe. Spice Daddy's here to keep it live. Pepper Popper's fuel of fire, so true. Pop with purpose, he's talking to you.
What's up, my little pepper poppers? This is Spice Daddy here again with another top 10. But before we get to that, let's go with a little sponsorship thing. I just want to shout out Lee Steven again. His book 3 in the Destiny's Edge series is out. It's called Hero. Best one so far that I've read. Been talking with him. He's like, hey, what'd you think? I was like, read it within like 48 hours of you sending it to me. Great book. If you haven't checked him out, Zach's been reading it.
Yes, no, I'm almost, I'm maybe 2/3 of the way through the first book. And when you walked into the studio today, I was immediately like, hey, so we're in Russia.
Yeah.
And we've discovered an alien base and we've attacked it.
Right.
There's been some casualties. Pretty gnarly stuff, and you knew exactly what I was talking about.
I did.
So, yeah.
That's because that book just keeps my captivity.
It's very well done.
It is.
I really want to. I will say this. I really do want to do an interview. Now that I'm reading the book, I have some fun questions to Mr. Stevens about just the way that he decided to handle aliens with Christianity, and then also how he handles kind of Christianity as this like undercurrent.
And I think that's the best part that I like about his books is that it's leaving enough of a mystery to where I have theories.
I want to do an interview and ask.
And I don't know where to go from here.
And I also want to know if the word "vec" is his way of avoiding using curse words.
Probably, it sounds like it.
Right.
Yes.
Anyway,
so if Mr. Stevens is watching this, I would love to do an interview. We got to figure out how to set
I might
this
have
up.
to go to his place and do it.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go back to the top 10. This one's going to be a little different. Before we get started, you normally drink hot sauce, and
you've been snake bit recently.
Yeah.
I think a few of us got snake bit.
I still would have done hot sauce if this was like a good list, but this is not a good list. And I initially started out maybe saying, oh, I'm going to get something I really don't like. And so as I was coming here to your house today, I was at the gas station and I was like, what can I do? And so and so I grabbed something that was the most
Great, no one can see.
Disgusting thing.
But Justin can.
and so I chose, and this might offend some people, and I don't care. Bread and butter pickles, also known as sweet pickles, and I was like, oh, I want to eat those before and instead of the
Which
hot
I
sauce.
still think you should do. I have one right
because
here,
I associate hot sauce with good things, and I was going to eat those and then go through this list.
It's like a sweet gherkin, like a sweet pickle.
Yeah, it's a bread and butter pickle. Like the kind you'd put on a hamburger.
I despise those.
Oh, okay.
One of the worst things in my life. One of the worst things in my life is seeing some pickles, which I love pickles, on like a platter, and going in for a bite, and it's sweet pickles, and it just makes my stomach churn. And I was gonna do it. I was geared up to do it, and the more I thought about it, it just disgusted me to the point where I chickened out. And I'm not ashamed to say that because I just can't do it. This list does not deserve anything associated with it.
Okay, so what's the list?
My top 10 heretical people.
Heretics. Also known as heretics.
Yep.
Heretical people,
Yep.
a.k.a.
Heretics.
Heretical heretics.
Yep.
Top 10 heretics.
Yeah.
So let's get some controversy going, right?
Right. And so this is not a good list, but I think it's a necessary list. And it does not deserve anything associated with it, or basically it grossed me out and I didn't want to throw up on.
So let's define heretic.
In layman's term, a heretic is someone that goes against what is established beliefs. Specifically, Christian heretic would
Dealing
be,
with Christianity.
Yeah, dealing with Christianity is someone that goes against established beliefs of the general church. I guess it'd be safe to say, like, maybe the Nicene Creed would be a good base point for that.
Well,
But it goes a little bit further than that. But
okay, let's add maybe one other important caveat to that will help with this definition. So it's a Christian espousing beliefs that not only run contrary to fundamental Orthodox Christianity, but would lead you to hell.
yep, that would be a good
It's
thing.
not like, hey, we disagree on the rapture, you're a heretic. Because heretic is thrown around all the time. You know, I'm a mid-tribulate, you're a heretic.
Good example of this would probably, our most well-known one would probably be Martin Luther in the Roman Catholic Church. Martin Luther was considered a heretic by the Roman Catholic Church, but in overall definition, it was not.
You had Tyndall, who's like translating Bibles, called a heretic.
Right.
Because you wanted the Bible in the language of people. A heretic is someone that is teaching in a position of authority claiming to be within Christianity, but their beliefs not just run counter to Christianity, but are so egregious that person and those who follow them are going to hell. Right?
Yep.
So like we wouldn't classify Catholics necessarily as being heretics, because while I have a lot of disagreements about Catholicism, and it depends on how deeply you might go into it, I think that there are good Christian people within Catholicism. Same with Eastern Orthodoxy, also similar. We're talking about like, you follow this person, you're not following Jesus, you're going to hell. So I think that's
You're worshiping a different Jesus than we are.
A different Jesus. I think that's a good qualifier, which will make some of this a little controversial.
It will.
So we're gonna do the first three, right? So 10, 9, and 8.
First three, number 1, or 10, if
Yes.
you may say, Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith, the founder of Mormonism, or the Latter-day Saints, as they are known today, worshipped a different Jesus, or believed in a different Jesus than what we
For sure.
we know.
But they claim to be Christian,
Correct. Yep.
which is a perversion of
not just a perversion, but a deceitfulness.
It's a deceit. It's a
Deceit of that, and that's a. I think within proper definition of heretical teachings, that is a good caveat to that. Is that deceitful teachings?
Okay, so let me ask you a question about this list. I think this is going to be a different type of top 10 because it's not necessarily like in rank of heretic. You're
Right.
just going,
I'm just
here
going
are 10,
through.
here are 10 heretics. Because Joseph Smith, I mean, if you're ranking,
Pretty high on the list.
pretty high on the
Pretty-
list.
yeah.
Pretty high.
I don't think you can really necessarily rank heretical teaching.
Ranking
It's
heretics.
just all really bad, and if you follow these people, there's a good, and you adhere to what their teachings are, you're going to hell.
Hey, and if you are out there and you're like, what's wrong with Joseph Smith? There are literally hundreds of hours of videos on YouTube that will explain to you what's wrong with Joseph Smith. And I'm certain the rest of the people on this list. If you follow somebody who's on this list, either Google or reach out to us and we will be happy to explain it. I can talk about the Mormons all day long.
Absolutely.
All right. Number 2 would be the first century Judaizers. And you're probably thinking, well, what's that? And it kind of extends into today's modern era. But the first century Judaizers were the ones that were saying, hey, and able to fully follow Christ, because he was a Jew, you also need to become Jewish or follow the law of Moses, become circumcised and stop eating pork and so on and so forth. And yeah, that's not at all what was taught.
And if you're like, well, wait a second, does that mean that they're not Christians? Were the Judaizers Christians or not Christians? If you want to know more about that, read Galatians and the way that Paul addresses these people, because there doesn't seem to be this wasn't necessarily following Jesus. This was following Judaism. So it wasn't a gospel of grace, a gospel of salvation. It was still very much a fundamental works-based. And it was such a big deal that you have the Jerusalem Council, Acts 15, has to step in right off the bat and define what salvation is, because it was being questioned. So if you're questioning the very nature of salvation, that's why I think the Judaizers make the 10 list.
Right. And I think you see that in today's era. You get a lot of, and I saw this as I was living in Israel. A lot of people would come to Israel and they put the Jews on a pedestal instead of putting the Jewish God on the pedestal. You
Right.
see the difference?
Yeah.
And they thought by following the law, which Jesus came to fulfill the law, and as a Gentile, like I like bacon, for lack of a better term.
There's a phraseology that you've used when talking about works-based salvation before, Zach, that is something to the effect of, if you try to add to what Jesus did on the cross, you take away everything Jesus did on the cross.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Like if you cannot add to it, and in trying to, you will remove everything that he did for you.
Yeah. I mean, Paul would say, if you could be saved in any other way, Christ died in vain.
Right.
And Paul, I think that's in 1 Corinthians. I can't remember the exact passage. So, last one.
This one,
The third heretic of the Pepper Poppers list.
this one is, I don't know how I feel about it, but I do know how I feel about it.
Oh, controversial.
It is.
Buckle up, Poppers.
Even within my own, because I've listened to this guy a few times, and he said stuff that was pretty uplifting and seemed to be biblically sound. Stephen Furtick.
Oh, yeah.
And
what church is he a part of?
We've had this
Elevation Church.
He's Elevation? Okay, I've gotten that mixed up with Mike Todd before, even though they don't look anything alike.
Right.
Elevation.
Is he the guy with the beard?
Yeah.
He's got a beard. He's very trendy.
Okay.
I think that he was the pastor who made Pastors and Sneakers blow up. Was Pastors and Sneakers started
Following
featuring Mike Furtick a lot.
Okay, so why would you say? I honestly don't know much of anything.
Right, and neither do I.
Elevation
just 'cause
Church
I've
does
just
a lot of
seen
worship.
I haven't seen all of his sermons, but I've seen little clips of stuff. And generally, he's basically become the modern face of the health and wealth movement. And I guess that's where, instead of calling him heretical, I guess he kind of encompasses that whole movement, or that whole genre of churches of the health and wealth, name it and claim it and stuff like that. And I think that yeah, I don't know how to describe.
He is millennial Joel Osteen. He has a very, very health and health. Very much does not describe sin at all. Has a very modalist ideals.
Right. So like
in
one of the
back
things
his
is
head.
we're like little gods, basically. God in us. And,
I have heard him. I have heard
we
the
are
little gods
little,
thing.
Yeah, and that really becomes part of the health and wealth thing.
Well, you just heard it here. Outlaw Radio just called Elevation Church heretics. Spice Daddy, top 10 list. If that's controversial, hit us up. I know nothing about this, so I would love to get the feedback.
Right.
I've done no research on it, but Spice Daddy and Creighton know more about this than I do, and that's an interesting topic broadly. Like, is there any room within the health and wealth?
Right, and that's where I struggled.
As being actually, like, you're going to hell?
And
is Joel Osteen going to hell?
I struggled.
Joel Osteen, I think is. Yeah.
I struggled to put him on here, just because some of the stuff I've seen from him makes sense, but oftentimes that's how it is.
Okay, I'll give you a great example of this. You go and sit down with a Mormon. You will talk to a Mormon, and you will walk. If you don't know anything, you will walk away from the conversation absolutely believing that you guys have the same beliefs about everything.
Oh yeah.
Like the verbiage, the language, everything is identical. It all, like, as a senior in high school, I was working at a golf course, and a new guy got hired on, so I was training him, and I was like, "Hey, what church do you go to?" He goes, "Oh, I go to the Latter-day Saints church, over there on Oak Road." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool." I didn't know anything about anything, and but I did know, like, I don't think Mormons are Christians, but I started asking him about Jesus and dying on the cross and saving you from your sins and this, that, and the other, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess we're the same. Then I started studying it more when I got to Bible college. It's like, oh no, when I used the word Jesus, you had a totally different definition for who Jesus is. When I said dying on the cross, your understanding of what that actually did is a totally different thing than what my biblical beliefs. So when you say this about Steve Heretic, again, that's what's dangerous about heretics, is that like with Satan, if the lie was super obvious,
it wouldn't be nearly as effective.
Exactly. So,
which Elevation Church statement of faith follows the orthodox beliefs, general orthodox beliefs of Christianity.
Are you getting cold feet here, Spice?
Yeah, you're really
kind of teetering now.
But I think this might be it. This, him being on the list, might make a good whole episode topic.
All right. Well, we'll put that to the docket.
I'm on board.
Pepper Poppers, close us out, and then we'll move on.
See you later, my little pepper poppers.